Hey everyone, Spot of Nerd here with a brand new episode from yours truly, me, Spot of Nerd. And we need to talk about something really special that has a very special place in my heart when it comes to television, when it comes to entertainment, idols, legends, godlike figures, and everything in between because we recently just got Amazon Prime's The Grand Tour's latest special, Sand Job.
Why don't we go into Dakar on the beach like they used to on the rally? It was finished on the beach. Yes.
Naturally, my colleagues had no objections whatsoever. So we turned onto the sand to complete the last 70 miles, just as the racers of the past had done.
Supercharger engaged. Look at that. Harry Dakar, this is the finish.
It will be for these exact moments that people endured the suffering and hardship of doing the Paris-Dakar. This is what they did it for. This.
I'm going to pull alongside Richard the Hamster Hammond.
Look at this, we're in a poster.
Oh, thank you.
Never had so much fun.
Featuring probably the most amazing trio that this planet, that entertainment has ever gotten the grace to experience, whether on television, whether in life, everything in between. And if it wasn't for these three gentlemen, I honestly do not know where I would be. I mean that in the most positive way because they are an inspiration. They are hysterical. They are complete and absolute assholes. But my God, are they truly God's gift to the world? Now, the reason this is so special, specifically to me and truly probably millions, if not billions of people around the world, is that this latest special, Sand Job, is heartbreakingly going to be the second to last special that we will get from the trio. James May, Richard Hammond, Jeremy Clarkson. You might know them from the original Top Gear in UK. Of course, Jeremy said some pretty stupid shit, got himself fired, and Amazon picked it up with the Grand Tour. The Grand Tour was just as good, if not better. There were definitely pros and cons to both, but ultimately it still kept the joy, it still kept the laughter, it still kept the experiences and the entertainment that this world has never seen before. Just three old English blokes traveling the world in cars, coming up with mischief, coming up with craziness, and just having a damn good time showing you what they're all about, whether it's again through their own hysterics, their own personalities, their own attributes, but ultimately what it came down to was these three have a friendship, a brotherhood that I don't think anybody on the entire planet could ever really relate to. And I think that is what makes it so special. And it makes it so heartbreaking because supposedly we are only going to get one more special from these three. And you got to give them credit. They've been doing this for 20 years, I believe, over 20 years. They're old, and yeah, they deserve a break. They deserve to retire. They each have their own specials and their own shows right now. Richard has his car, The Smallest Cog on Discovery. James has his travel show through Amazon and his cooking show. And Clarkson's Farm, you can't forget Clarkson's Farm. So they're still going to be on TV giving us just the hysterics and the fun and everything in between. They're just going to do it solo. But the heartbreaking piece when the last special eventually does come to be, I believe it's going to be at the end of the year, it is going to, there's just no words to describe what it's going to be in relation to joy and sadness and heartbreak and just that metaphoric dipping of a hat, because these gentlemen deserve praise, they deserve honor, they deserve respect, because they have given us so much, and the least we can do is just pray and hope that they find whatever else is next in their own life to be the best possible thing that they can have. It's incredibly awesome. And my last piece before we kind of get to a little bit of a mini review of Sand Job, the reason these three mean so much to me is because it was my old friend, Mr. Brian Knowles. He unfortunately passed away from illness many years ago. Didn't even get to 30 years old. And I think about him every day. I really, really do. That man, he was my brother. He was my friend that I've never had. And it changes you when something like that happens. It really, really does. If you've ever lost someone close to you, if you've ever watched somebody die, it's the most horrible thing on the planet. And I think the greatest gift that he ever gave me was he introduced me to Top Gear UK when the three were doing Top Gear for the first time. I swear to God, I remember vaguely when he introduced me to him and he said, "You got to check these guys out," because he knew I was from the UK, and he said, "Look, you're going to love these guys. They're hysterical. They drive cars. They test cars. They do get up to gimmicks and fun and blah, 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 blah." And I was like, okay, sure, why not? Let's just try it out. And the very first special I watched was the Zimbabwe special, which was their very first road trip, I guess, if you want to call it. Supposedly the last episode is going to be in Zimbabwe, so it's kind of very fitting to start where you finish. And that was it. That was what it was. And from then on out, for me, over 20 years, it's been nothing but incredible joy, incredible entertainment. And there's, hand to God, I do not think there is any other show on this planet not only like it, but just cannot compete with it. Yes, I have said, and I completely still stand by, that The Expanse is still the greatest television sci-fi show that ever existed. But these three, whether it's Top Gear, whether it's the Grand Tour, these gentlemen are truly the greatest thing to ever come out of television, to ever come out of personality, TV personality, whatever that word is, however you want to call it. And I just hope you are also a fan. If you're not, you should be. You will not be disappointed whatsoever. You will laugh, you'll cry, everything in between. And again, I wanted to make this little bit of an episode here to just really show my respect to the gentlemen, to show my respect to this trio, of mates, of blokes, of old geezers, and I wish them the best, whatever venture might come in the future. With all of that said, Sand Job. Let's get to it. Just a quick little mini review. Amazing special. Now, yes, let's be very honest. If you have watched the Grand Tour, Top Gear, the specials, so on and so forth, there are good ones, there are and then there are great ones. This one I would just say is a good one. I think the negatives here where it missed the mark, it was a little bit long. This thing is 2.5 hours. You got to remember, most of their specials are normally about an hour to an hour and a half. This is 2.5 hours. I think that's what made it a little bit on the side of things, because there's a lot of just drawn out driving scenes, not too much of the jokes, the gimmicks, and so on and so forth. The location, I think that's what really made this special incredible, was the location. I can't even remember, I can't like give you where they went, but they basically crossed the Sahara Desert to do like the Dakar race. If you've ever seen my special or episode where we talk about long way up, long way down, and then long way around with Ewan McGregor and his friend Charlie, where they basically go around the world on motorcycles. The Dakar is this huge motorcycle racing thing, and it's something they've never done before. It's something that the Grand Tour's never done. So ultimately, they did it. They crossed the Sahara Desert in some of the most fancy, expensive vehicles. Maseratis. What did Richard drive? Aston Martins and BMW, I think. Jeremy was in a BMW. But again, they turned these into sand dune type vehicles. And I think what makes this Sand Job, like I said, so great was the location. It's just, there's nothing there. This is like Mars on Earth when it comes to location. Thousands of miles of just desert and sand. And it's funny because a lot of the reviews afterwards, or maybe not reviews, but a lot of more of the conversation afterwards where they go on talk show and they talk about the special is, the average temperature is 120 degrees daily. And, they jokingly, they say they didn't pee for like a week because of just how dehydrated they were. But you can kind of see it in the video. It is just desolate. There's nothing there. And I think that is really what gave this special beauty in a weird sense, because you're not necessarily focusing on the jokes or the camaraderie between the three, which is always, and it's always there. The camaraderie is always there. It's that's what makes these three so great. But again, I think this was location that made this special so incredible. And yes, there are some humor and there's some laughter, pranks, and some, there are some moments that are staged like any other special, but ultimately it's something you want to do. And I think, if anything else, regardless if you've ever even heard of the Grand Tour, if you've heard of the trio, I really hope you'll take the time just to kind of experience what they do in relation to, they have traveled the world in cars, in vehicles of every kind. And they've just brought you that experience, that entertainment. Like, you can go, here's what I'm trying to get at. You can go on YouTube right now and look up some sort of travel channel, some walk around, where like somebody will just hold a camera and they'll walk around Vegas just to show you Vegas. These guys take that and they times it by 1,000. And they give you an experience like no other, because not only do they give you the real experience about what is actually going on in these places they visit, but they're taking vehicles to just try and give you some of the craziest shit you've ever seen on television. It's fucking amazing. And I truly do thank them for bringing me that joy. I've always said, keep the politics out, keep the agendas out, keep the wokeness out. And that's what they do. They just provide entertainment, the most basic form of streaming television. It's not rocket science. They've been doing it for over 20 years, and they have succeeded every single time. And this sand job was no different. Minus a little bit long, everything else is just perfect. It's beautiful. The jokes and the laughter, the experiences, like these guys have been doing this for 20 years. You can see their physical selves are starting to show their age, but it doesn't matter because they're with their mates, they're with their friends, they're with their brothers. And I think it's just one of the most amazing, beautiful things that is quote unquote, I guess, is whatever that word or phrase might be. But check it out right now. The Grand Tour Sand Job on Amazon Prime right now. The trio, God's gift to the world, James, Jeremy, and Richard. I promise you will not be disappointed. 4 cups of tea out of 4 cups of tea from Spot of Nerd. It just, one last time, broken record moment. It is going to be a sad day when these gentlemen put the keys to rest, those car keys to rest, and hang them up for one last time. It's gonna be tough, and I will definitely 100% do a tribute video when that special does eventually come, because I think they deserve it. I want to honor them, I want to respect them, and I want to thank them, because if it wasn't for my friend Brian introducing me to these guys, I don't know if I would ever watch them. I don't know if I'd ever get to see them or really get more interest in watching their specials or their shows, Top Gear, the Grand Tour. But like I said, if it wasn't for good people like Brian was to me, if it wasn't for that brotherhood, if it wasn't for that friendship, I would never get to experience this joy. And not only do I thank the guys, Jeremy and Richard and James, but I thank my friend Brian. I really, really do every day. I think about him every single day, because I guess what I'm trying to get at with this, what we talk about on this channel and what I've gone through and everything, we've all got a story to tell. He helped build this part of my story, and I pray to God, I hope he's doing good. I talk to him every day, and I really do hope he's doing good, and I love him and I miss him. So, to you, my friend Brian, to you, I love you, buddy. With all of that said, huge thanks to everybody that continues to watch Spot of Nerd. I would love it. Go ahead, subscribe right down below. Give me the likes, give me the thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know, have you watched, have you not? What was your favorite special in the past, regardless of Top Gear or Grand Tour? What is your favorite special that the boys have done? I'd love to know. Let's talk about it. The good and the bad, the ugly, everything in between. And we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all. Okay, so here's your end credit scene, because we've got to do one. I'll see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to overlay it on this, but somebody actually did a map. They drew a map. Not drew, but they found a map of where the Grand Tour and Top Gear have done all of their specials. It is crazy to think what these guys have done. They have been everywhere. I'm not shitting you people. They have been literally to the I think it was the South Pole or the North Pole, the desert with obviously the Sahara. They've been on the equator. They've been in the United States, into Europe, into China. They even once went to the nuclear site that blew up. Oh God, Chernobyl. They even drove through Chernobyl once to see if they could do it on a very small tank of gas. It was one of the specials, like a mini special through, I believe it was Top Gear. But again, these guys are legendary. And I just dip my invisible hat to them because they are God's gift to this world.
Right, let me put it to you this way. We've got many, many miles to get to Slovenia and you're driving a terrible car.
Yes.
If we had this with us,
Yeah.
it would cheer us up.
It would cheer us up.
Every time you were feeling a bit low, sometimes Titties and Beer was being a bit badly behaved, you just said, Joe, look in your rearview mirror, and there in my passenger seat
He's someone who looks a bit like Nigel Mansell. Does it?
Right, shh.
Well, we're off the
No, wait, I tell you what, we're awful.
He's doing the tour.
Do the Birmingham accent, you're from Birmingham.
Should we just sit there? I like that. I've had enough of this. Let's go and get drive about outside.
Yeah, all right, Nigel, we'll take you out.
Yep. Thanks for bringing me with you, lads. I really enjoyed the look around the museum. Just what I wanted to say. I saw that one in London. It's not as good as this, is it? I'm going to go and do some racing this afternoon. I'm dressed and ready. Mind me head on this beam here. Oh, bugger, I knocked it. I'll see you later, Paul Walker, mate. Just keep going.
Oh, I hate Harry Potter. Absolute bollocks.
Hold up, lads. Wait for us. I'm coming.
Guys, we can get out this way. Shh. Come this way.
That, lads, was an amazing visit. Thanks for bringing us with you.
Oh. This is probably somebody's house.
It's possible, yes. They may be a bit surprised to find us three and Nigel Mansell in it.